Hey, it's me again. I thought I'd do another little sketchbook tour here, number 12. And this one is obviously from 2021 to 2022. I thought I'd just go through, go through it and have a look of what all this old work of mine includes. So I'll just pop through it quickly. So here, just the Cuddy Sark. A lot of these are London drawings because obviously I was and I still am in London, and this was obviously the tail end of COVID and everything. So I think I was still working at this time in an animation studio, and in my days off, weekends, I would go around London and take sketches around what there's to see. This one's in Greenwich, so obviously all sorts of notes on the Cutty Sark boat there, and learning about how obviously the ship works, and the little odds and ends and the names of everything as well. Obviously there's some great museums, and it's very great for seafaring museums around the Greenwich area. Let's have a look here. Yeah, just little odds and ends, little caricatures occasionally. I'll just skip through this fairly quickly. You just see your odds. Obviously there's a bit of space at the bottom here. I don't know why I left them out. This is probably the observatory up on the hill in Greenwich. Is it the barge? Is it the royal barge from the 1760? It says here, something like that. Little odds and ends, old boats. So just sort of learn. This is just sort of a way of just learning how people from olden times, how the designs of boats changed as things moved on, and rolled on through the centuries. And just sort of getting that knowledge packed into my brain. It's very useful, these kind of sketches. You can see here all sorts of little odds and ends, little toy museum sketches, little bits and bobs, how the suits are made and all the rest of it. Yeah, so here I think this is some of the stuff's in Richmond. I think that's in Richmond, that bridge, and that's probably far East London, I think that one. That's again, I think that was Richmond Park, that one. There we go. So you can see just some sort of caricatures I'm cracking on with there. Various museums in London. Very detailed sketch there. And here I'm playing around with the London sort of aesthetic. This is one early days of the Troll of London Bridge film I made. This was like probably one of the early sketches where I did the bridge, but it was like an orc bridge from Lord of the Rings or something. This is the Tower Bridge, and yeah, from here I think I got the idea. And obviously you see the little haphazard metal British cross. What would you call that? There's a name for it. The British flag, the British cross. But it's all like orc style, and I'm playing around with different ways of doing it. You can see there. I could still implement that, I think, into future stories, but I mean, essentially that's what I did on the helmet of the orc, isn't it? From the troll from the Troll of London Bridge. More little bits and bobs, a more detailed drawing. The different decks of the ship. Obviously, this is a proper ship one here. Let's have a look. And that's apparently that was on I found that on in Deptford. There's this old skull and crossbones near a graveyard, and apparently it potentially inspired the pirate skull and crossbones. So that's a little fun little thingy to find in Deptford in London. Where the origins a lot of these things are around the world that are in popular culture, See, that's Hampton Court Palace, I believe, and that's some nice paintings I saw at Hampton Court I copied. Someone, I can't remember who, but someone saw this sketch and they knew exactly what painting it was, and I was amazed that they knew. And here I'm just making a lot of studies from like the borrowers and the different adaptations of the borrowers, because obviously there's all sorts of different clever designs of how the characters use different clips there for a headband, and nails on a board for a place to put your bags and stuff. And this was all very, very interesting. You see them in all the different adaptations of the borrowers. And because I do stop motion, I'd love to do a proper stop motion borrowers at some point. I kind of did do it, to be honest, with my Ant film. What was it called? Spy Ant, where he sort of blends James Bond with the borrowers with obviously insects. So I got to hit several birds with one stone with that one. But it would be nice to do a general sort of adaptation of the borrowers because it's very British. British story, and implementing real life objects works very well with stop motion because your figures can be like from that big to that big, and it works quite well with that size. I'm surprised Aardman hasn't done a borrower's adaptation, but they haven't. I don't know why. It's easy work there, and it makes sense. They made one of them, I forget the name, Dave Alex Reddit, I think, the guy who does the lighting on a lot of this Aardman stuff. He did, I believe he worked on Tom Thumb, which was a bit of a grittier, grimmer version of obviously the myth of Tom Thumb, or the story of Tom Thumb. Is it Hans Christian Andersen? I can't remember. I think Hans Christian Andersen's Thumbelina. But yeah, so they have some connections to little people that big going on adventures, but they haven't really delved into it. So you see a bit more here, odds and ends, bits and bobs. Obviously, we're getting to the 1997 film there with a little almost like Mickey Mouse ears on the girl there. What was her name? Is it Ariete? And more bits and bobs. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, Domino Stairs. That was fun. I think that was from that film as well. I'm playing around. This is the, I think, origin of more of the Barbaric Adam film I made. A lot of these sort of inspire the films I later make. Here we go. There's a proper sketch, obviously. And obviously Ewan, I think, from Lord of the Rings. That's probably a copy of a real image. More plays on Barbaric Adam. More probably life drawing sketches or just idea sketches. That's more playing with visuals. That might be a copy of someone else's work. Little odds and ends, that one might be as well. And little bits and bobs. Yeah, usually I write down next to it whether it's a copy or not. And you can learn a lot from copying other people. There we go, Ewan again. Playing with sketches. A lot of these I think are ideas, copies and stuff. I'm playing around with like latex eyes and latex this, that and the other, or latex eyebrows, whatever. And how to design these sketches into real characters. Yeah, here we go, more. This is, I think, all from freeze frames of Hornblower. So I watched, while I was working at the animation studio, in my breaks I'd run home and watch all the old Hornblower DVDs from back in the 90s and early 2000s, because they're kind of cool English-British ship-faring little short TV movies, and a lot of them are well produced, and obviously you've got Pirates of the Caribbean that plays on the British costuming and stuff, but Hornblower is another good one. Obviously the English fighting the French during that that period of was it the early 19th century, I want to say. Again, more sketches from Hornblower, odds and ends. Obviously windmills are always lovely to sketch. There we go. More designing for Barbaric Adam. I can't remember what all this was for. Different ideas, obviously. Yeah, different concepts for films, I think one was like a Guardian Angel film. There's demons that are attacking this guy who's at his computer or something. So you take a mundane image of a guy at a computer, and then you have the spiritual realm of demons playing with them and stuff and fight, attacking them. Obviously Guardian Angels there as well. That's also an idea that might go into at some point. Obviously there's the Tower of London, the White Tower, but obviously I'm making it more kind of, Rodney Matthews style kind of fantasy illustration-y. That's like a Snapey type character, isn't it? That one. That might I think that might be a copy of another artist. Obviously the King's Chair, I think that's in Westminster Cathedral, is it? I think. Various bits and bobs. Caricatures and stuff. That guy wasn't, I think, initially supposed to be look like Prince Harry, or was it Prince William? But it ended up looking like Prince William, so we can just claim it is, can't we? Little bits and bobs. Obviously I'm quite inspired by the old armory of weapon designs from John Howe and Alan Lee in Lord of the Rings, and because obviously I painted the miniatures for so long, that's probably a Tom Richmond copy, that one. And we'll speed through these a bit. Here we go, so Troll of London Bridge, I'm here proper designing here for that. So you see some of the design sketches for that, which is kind of cool. And some sort of fantasy type stuff. A lot of these are kind of not quite chill, they're not really quite detailed, so I think those are copies as well. Yeah, you can see there Calvin and Hobbes. I'm playing around with the visual style of the sort of like the smoke and stuff. It's really interesting what you can learn from those guys. This was like an attempt at a comic, but what I thought with this one is I'd just sort of use something that's more my style, you know, so my style's a bit wibbly, and it's hard to nail things down. I don't know the way my brain works, it has weaknesses and stuff, so I thought let's just go with it and go with that weird wobbly style, kind of almost like Bone, this one, kind of funny style. I'm going to go through more here. Well, that's a nice one, isn't it? Look at that. Little bits and bobs. So yeah, you can tell some of these are copies. That was a cool original. That looks cool. Little odds and ends, Tom Richmond, and obviously little. I think that's watercolor. Here we go. I'm playing around with inks. You see, that's quite a cool one. Scully, is it supposed to be? So a lot of these, obviously, I'm playing around with various other artists. And here I thought, oh, let's try comics. There's a lot of guys I'm quite influenced by, you know, like Doug TenNapel and various other artists and stuff. I think Humberto Ramos's art I was quite inspired by when I was younger, and was it Raphael Albuquerque's kind of more grittier Western style was quite fun. This is sort of me just playing around with colours and styles, but I mean I just got so kind of frustrated with a lot of this work, and my own ability is quite limited, even though I've worked for many years drawing and sketching. You can see here there's like the anatomy's off and things are a bit wacky, and I find no matter what I do, sometimes you just hit a wall with your skill, you know. So hopefully I'll move out of the plateau I'm in at the moment, but it kind of is a bit frustrating that you're just like, gosh, I've spent so many years at this, and you're kind of amazed by people who just pick up skills quickly and develop their art. But yeah, here's some copies from the British, like the Tate Britain, you know, and the National Gallery, different artworks and paintings, which I'm copying in person, which is really nice, and playing with ink lines and stuff. So everything, yeah. Sketching people on the train and bus and stuff, playing with colour pencils, different design styles, and oops, here I'm playing with markers and finding here, like for example here, like having a set of markers which I can use time and time again, so I can limit them. I don't have to have like 100 million markers to choose from. Sadly, very soon after this sketch, I found I got kind of irritated by the alcohol in the markers very quickly, so nowadays I can't even virtually use markers, which is sad, but it can come to nice effect in sketches like this, I think. There's a little, yeah, more studies. And that sketch there, and when I remember doing that sketch, one of the guards who looks after this area, obviously this is Nelson's column, he came up to me and said, okay, I can let you do this once, because I had it on a tripod, this sketchboard, like it's proper James Gurney style with a tripod, and sketching on that with my watercolours right next to it, so I could just dab in the paints and stuff while looking up. But the security guard came in and told me off and said, I can let you do it this time, but next time I'm not supposed to let it. These things, tripods and stuff there, and it was in Hampstead Heath, I think, around there. Hampstead. Let's see, that was me playing with oils one particular day, which I haven't played with oils, I don't think, since. And there might be some more little artworks here. Let's have a look. Ah, yes, some more little odd sketches, more playing with oils. Odds and ends, and I think that's about it. So yes, that's this sketchbook. I hope you enjoy that little adventure, yeah, that's this. Hope you enjoyed, and take it easy. Right, bye.